She looks like she knows what she's doing when it comes to directing, because the way she directed this movie is really well done. For her directorial debut, it doesn't look like it's her directorial debut at all. She looks like she knows what she is doing when it comes to directing a film, and I thought the movie looks fantastic. What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is OCD Movie Reviews. My name is On The Brinkcat, and today I'm going to review the latest psychological thriller, Blink Twice. This is a director debut by the actress Zoë Kravitz, and this movie stars Channing Tatum, Naomi, Ackie, and Adria Arjona. When tech billionaire Slater King, played by Channing Tatum, meets cocktail waitress Frida, played by Naomi Ackie, at his fundraising gala, he invites her to join him and his friends on a dream vacation on his private island. As strange things start to happen, Frida questions her reality. So we got a new directorial debut in our hands, Zoë Kravitz. Man, this is interesting. I like seeing actors going into the director's table. We get a lot of actors that do that. So, Zoë Kravitz, very interesting that she's going to direct a movie. This is her first director debut, and from the trailers for Blink Twice, I was interested. I like the concept alone. It looks like a very simple but also very original and unique concept. I thought the cast is great. The trailers really do interest me. I keep seeing the trailer in theaters so many times, and the more times I've seen the trailer, the more I was curious and interested in Blink Twice. So of course I was looking forward to this movie. Now, what do I think of Blink Twice? Because this movie is very mixed by a lot of people. Some people loved the movie, some people didn't like the movie, some people were disappointed. In my opinion, I thought Blink Twice is a bit of a mixed bag for me. There are some things I liked about the movie, and there are some things I didn't like about the movie. But throughout the most part, I enjoyed this movie for what it was. I just think the movie could have been a little bit better. But I gotta give big props to this movie for Zoë Kravitz, because her direction with this movie is really well done when it comes to the look of the movie, when it comes to the cinematography. She looks like she knows what she's doing when it comes to directing, because the way she directed this movie is really well done. For her directorial debut, it doesn't look like it's her directorial debut at all. She looks like she knows what she is doing when it comes to directing a film, and I thought the movie looks fantastic. Also, the acting is pretty good, especially Naomi Ackie. She stole this movie for me. I thought she is fantastic in this movie as the main protagonist. You definitely root for Frida to basically solve the situation that she is in, and when it comes to the emotional scenes, Naomi Ackie completely crushes it in this film. I liked her in I Want to Dance With Somebody. I thought she's a pretty solid Whitney Houston, but this movie, she definitely brings it all, and I thought this is one of her better performances that I've seen her in her career so far. Also, Channing Tatum. Fantastic in this film. Not going to explain his character in the film, but all I gotta say is that his acting in the film is fantastic. There is one specific scene that Channing Tatum does in the film where I'm just like, man, he's starting to get better as an actor. He's starting to get better. It makes me like Channing Tatum even more in movies. So, Channing Tatum, he is fantastic in this film. That's all I gotta say. I don't want to spoil this movie because this movie is pretty vague, actually. I'm gonna keep this spoiler-free as possible. But the one that I was really surprised about this film and gets more screen time than I thought she would is Adria Arjona. I liked her in Hitman this year. I thought she does a really fantastic job in that movie. She's definitely rising up this year. I gotta say, Adria Arjona is really good in this film. She's actually probably the best character in the movie, in my opinion. She has a great chemistry with the rest of the characters in the film, and she gets much more development than I thought. You know, I thought she's just going to be in the background for most of the film. No, she gets a much bigger role in this film, and I thought she does a really good job in the film. You know, the rest of the acting is all good in the film. The acting is definitely very solid in this film. But I gotta say, are there really intense scenes? Yes, there are parts in the film where I'm like, oh shit, okay, the film is going in that direction. There are some intense scenes in Blink Twice that you'll definitely feel entertained by throughout the most part. When the plot kind of gets in throughout the second and third act, I was enjoying the movie for what it was. It's nothing too spectacular or mind-blowing or anything, but yeah, there are bits in the film where it's very fucked up. It definitely develops some really dark themes, and it even has a disclaimer at the start of the movie saying this movie might upset some people. They put that disclaimer at the start of the movie, and I can see that, because there are some scenes in the movie that could upset some people, so I'm just going to warn you. There's going to be some very disturbing themes in this movie that you might not be pleasant to see. Just to warn you now, but the disclaimer will warn you all of that throughout the beginning of the film. But I thought the direction is really good in the film. I thought the cinematography is great. There are some intense and thrilling scenes in this film. But this film is not as great as I want it to be, in my personal opinion. This film does have some flaws that I would say it ruined the movie just a little bit. First off, the first act. I like the second act to the third act because it goes in within the plot. The first act of the movie, though, is a bit messy. There is a lot of editing chops within the first act of this movie. There's a lot of jump cuts in this film that goes way too fast that made me kind of dizzy a little bit, going, what the heck is going on? It just goes from one cut shot, from one cut shot, from one cut shot. There's a lot of cut shots in this film, especially for the first act. And it just takes you a little while to get used to the editing of this film. And the first act is just very slow to get going within this movie. It gets to the plot more within the second act. The first act is basically a big setup of what's to come. When they're on this island, when they're just having fun, you know? The first act of this movie is pretty slow leading up, and it actually got a little boring until the plot gets in. Also, I did not like the ending of this film, the way the film wraps up. It is just way too rushed, and it kept me with a lot of questions. It's one of those endings where I'm like, okay, I feel like you need to analyze it a little bit more of what's going to happen, because it is very, very rushed. It kind of wants to wrap up the film very, very quickly. So there are some story issues and setup issues of the film, but did I enjoy Blink Twice for what it was? Yes, I think this is a pretty enjoyable thriller film that could have been a bit better in my personal opinion. But I gotta say, Zoë Kravitz, for her directorial debut, she does a great job directing this movie. She directed this movie extremely well. The movie looks beautiful. There is some good cinematography in this film. The acting is really solid in the film from Naomi, Ackie, Channing Tatum, even Adria, Arjona. Everyone in this film does a really good job in the film. There are some pretty intense moments. There are some pretty disturbing moments for your entertainment value. But I do think the movie could have been better within the setup and the ending. So overall, throughout the most part, I enjoyed Blink Twice, but I think it could have been a bit better. But I would still say, go see Blink Twice at a matinee price. Just keep an eye on some really dark themes in the film, but the disclaimer at the start of the film will warn you about that. So guys, that is my review for Blink Twice. Let me know what you think of this movie in the comments below. Do you like the movie, hate the movie, or you thought it's okay? Just let me know in the comments below. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below. Keep contacting with me, and make sure you guys subscribe to my channel for my latest movie reviews and other movie related content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a nice day.